With the 12th pick in the 2000 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast, and today we have our first 7-round mock draft. Yes, we will be doing that today. Can't wait to get that going, and we will be doing live mock drafts where you guys pick the players, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But before we get into this live mock draft, if you are new to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications so you guys know when I drop some content or go live. Again, we will be doing a live mock draft, and I want you guys to be there for it. So turn on post notifications, click that bell, much appreciated, and also smash the like button for your boy. It goes a long way to hit that like button. Follow your boy on Twitter. That's where we talk Eagle news behind the YouTube scenes. And with all that out the way, let's get into what you guys been waiting for. No more talking. Roll the tape.
with the 12th pick in the 2000 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
cornerback J.C. Horn out of South Carolina. Man, this guy is 6'1", 205 pounds, and he's just a baller when it comes to the cornerback position. Let's talk some positive. He's an aggressive corner that stays on the wide receiver hip pockets, in and out of breaks, and he fights with the biggest receivers out there. Another thing he does great is his awareness in man coverage. It is pretty darn good. And he also has the speed to stay with crossing routes, and he's not afraid to use his size against the run, making plays in that department. If I did have to talk about some negatives, it would be sometimes he leaves his back pedal a little too early, a little late reacting in zone coverages at times, and he also gets a little handsy, but that's all things that could be fixed in the next level, especially when you're talking about Jonathan Gannon being an ex-secondary coach, defensive back coach. He's going to get this guy to hit his upside 100%. Overall, J.C. Horn comes in with huge upside and has the making of a true number one cornerback, and playing with Gannon, playing with Darius Slay will only help his development. He took a big leap in his senior year, and I'm expecting him to come out and take a big leap his first year in the NFL as the Eagles' number 2 corner.
with the 37th pick in the NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Terrence Marshall Jr. out of LSU. He is 6'3", 201 pounds, and a baller at the receiver position. Let's talk about some things that he does well. He has that size you want for a possession wide receiver. He's smooth off his release of the line of scrimmage. He displays quick hands and is able to make the catch away from his frame, making difficult catches look easy. And when you talk about his route running, he fires through his routes. He stays low at the exit point, something that's not easy for a 6'3" wide receiver. If I did have to look at some negatives, he does lack that true second gear. He has speed, but he does lack that true second gear. And sometimes he peeks his eyes upfield and he lets some balls go away. I know Eagle fans don't want to hear that, but he makes the difficult catches look easy. So I'm not going to be worried about some kind of concentration drops. Overall, Terrence Marshall Jr. played with 2 great receivers in Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, and he showed development each year throughout his college career. He has the making to be a legit possession receiver who runs pretty darn smooth routes for the Philadelphia Eagles.
with the 70th pick in the NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
linebacker Nick Bolton out of Missouri, who's 6 foot, 231 pounds. He has great pursuit to read and diagnose plays and make the sure tackle. Has the ability to cover tremendous amount of field by taking the right angles almost all the time. And one thing I really love is good in open space wrapping up tackle. He's not going to make it pretty, but he's going to get the tackle. If I had to look at the negatives, he's a little undersized. Could have hard time getting off certain blocks because of the side, but I do love the athleticism to get around them blocks. And again, he is a sure tackler, but he's not one of them big hitting linebackers, if you want to take that as a negative. But overall, Bolton has great pursuit to the ball and would be a guy who can run sideline to sideline and make the right play for the Philadelphia Eagles, especially with all this new east to west type running. You don't have many of the Derrick Henrys going up the middle. Nick Bolton is a very versatile linebacker, and I like him at pick number 70. With the 84th pick,
NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Tyson Campbell out of Georgia. This guy is 6'2", 185 pounds. Let's talk some of his positives. The guy got great size, and he engages with wide receivers at the line of scrimmage, doesn't let them get into their routes as easy. He has that fluid ability to flip his hips and has great bursts to the ball for pass deflections. And another thing I love about him is he has the ability to run stride for stride with the receivers who try to get downfield. Now, if I did have to look at any negatives in college, it would be he's a little slow to get his head turned around, and he only had one interception in 3 years. He needs to work on creating turnovers, and that's where Jonathan Gannon comes in place. Overall, Tyson Campbell has great size and the ability to run down the field wide receiver. He has things he needs to work on, but will offer good value at the 84th overall pick and could be a solid number 2, especially when J.C. Horn takes that number 1 spot from Darius Slay, or Darius Slay ends up going a different way because he is older. He's going to have time to develop. I think Tyson Campbell will be a great pick at 84. With the 123rd pick,
NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Drew Daleman, offensive center out of Stanford. He's 6'3", 265 pounds. Let's talk some pros. Versatile player, able to play guard or center, and he's explosive in the zone blocking scheme, and he's very quick to the second level. He also shows the ability, if asked to pull across the line of scrimmage, he does that well. And lastly, plays with good pad level, able to redirect and hit moving targets. If I did have to look at some negatives, it would be the same things that Jason Kelce came into the league with. He's undersized, and supposedly he gets beat up by them bigger D tackles in the middle. But again, he's going to have to put on some weight. But we've seen firsthand that Jason Kelce, being undersized and a later round pick, was able to turn it around. But I do love the similarities to Jason Kelce being able to get to that second level and being a great blocker in zone schemes. Overall, he reminds me of, like I said, Jason Kelce. And with Stoutland there, I think he could be the legit replacement for Kelce. He does need to get bigger and work on some things, but he will be good in zone running, zone blocking, and his ability to get to the second level for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 150th pick,
NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
edge rusher Vic Makaiji out of Duke. He's 6'3", 265 pounds. Let's talk some positives. He's quick off the snap, fights well with his hands, and displays good movement skills. He also shows ability to continuously get leverage against his opponents, and he moves well around the field. Also, he has good lateral quickness and the ability to follow through to the end of the play. If we have to talk some negatives, he does lack that second level pursuit speed and a little undersized, could get caught up in the wash in the NFL. Overall, I could see him being a good rotational piece early on in his career and play big time in nickel packages for the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 189th pick,
NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
cornerback or safety Israel Mutombo out of South Carolina. He's 6'4", 205 pounds. He's an athletic cornerback or safety with great size, and he shows great ball skills. He also has the ability to jam receivers at the line of scrimmage. And again, like I said, he's shown the ability to play cornerback on the bigger wide receivers or safety, and he's a guy who can get in the box and play tight ends. If I did have to talk some negatives, he doesn't have the greatest closing speed, tends to lose his man at certain times, but overall Mutombo's game is a little unpolished, but there is a lot of upsides to him. Again, he can play corner or safety, and he's that guy who has ball skills as a safety. He's long, he's lanky, he'd be good for zone concepts. And again, if you need him to come up here and D that tight end who's giving you problems, you can't put a linebacker on him, you can't put a corner because they're too little, he's the perfect size. With the 224th pick
in NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
tight end Trey McKitty out of Georgia. This guy is 6'5", 240 pounds. Let's talk some pros. Effective as a pass catcher or a run blocker. He shows the ability to go up and extend for the ball. Great hands at the catch point. He's that guy who can haul in a bad throw and also absorb the contact and not let the ball hit the ground. He has the ability to catch and strive and get some run after the catch. If I did have to look at some negatives, he doesn't have that second level burst. Wasn't really productive in college, although he showed flashes. So overall, McKitty has the size and potential to put it together at the next level if given the right situation and coaching. And again, sitting behind Dallas Goedert, who knows what happens with Zach Ertz this year. This is a guy we could get in, groomed to be a possible stud in the future. With the 225th pick
in NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
wide receiver Tamarion Terry out of Florida State. He's 6'4", 209 pounds. Let's talk some pros. He got good hands and is able to snatch it out of the air at will. Has the ability to track the ball over his shoulder and has good awareness for finding open spots in zone coverage. If I did have to talk negatives, he's not too quick off the snap, doesn't have that next level burst, plays pretty much with one speed, not a great run blocker, even though the dude is 6'4", 209. Overall, I think he could be a nice sleeper pick, a possession guy who can be utilized in the red zone at times. With the 234th pick
in NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
offensive tackle Dan Moore out of Texas A&M. He's 6'5", 309 pounds. Let's talk some pros. Hardworking, able to stay square and has good strength. Makes good use of angles and is able to pick up blitzes. Also, he has good hand placement and fights to the end of the whistle. If I did have to talk about some negatives though, it'd be that he's not too quick and nifty, has some stiffness in his game, and he needs to work on footwork. But overall, he would be a great pickup at the tackle position, a guy who can learn from the great Stoutland and possibly be something more of a backup guy in case of emergency. But we know how good Jeff Stoutland is with these guys who have the attributes, being 6'5" and 309, and he can get him technically sound. With the 240th pick
in NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select
Jose Borrel. I'm probably saying his name wrong, but he's 5'10", 205 pounds out of Miami. This is a kicker. Yes, a kicker. Strong leg, drives his kicks through the end zone, and has shown the ability to directional kick. If I did have to look at some negatives, he did struggle his sophomore year. He had a great senior year though, but it shows that he had some struggling early on in his career, and he don't get too much. He don't have great hang time on his kicks, but overall, he could come in and push for a job in the NFL and possibly bring out the best in Jake Elliott because he's been lackluster. Well, there you go. Philly Mike and the Philly Talk Podcast first mock draft. We will be doing 2.0, 3.0 as it gets closer to draft and more news comes out. But let me know in the comment section, how did I do? Where do you agree? Where do you disagree? Let me know your choice choice. And remember, turn on post notifications so when we do the live mock draft, you can be there. Simple. And also, I will have the link in the description to enter for the raffle. If you haven't seen the videos in the past, we are giving away some fire Eagles shoes with any player you want on it. Eagles logo, Kelly Green. It's $10 to get a ticket. Go to the link, enter in, and I will catch you on the next one. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Smash the like button, and again, don't forget to turn on post notifications if you have it. I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. You know what time it is. We out.